Alright, so we're going to kick it off really fast, and we're going to start off in Deuteronomy 28:43 through 48. And the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not to the voice of the Most High thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever, because thou servest not the Most High thy power with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Most High thy power shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Alright? Alright, now we're going to jump over to Jeremiah 42:24 through 25. Who gave Jacob for a spoil and Israel to the robbers? Did not Yahuwah, whom against we sinned? For they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law. Therefore he hath poured upon him the fury of his anger and the strength of battle, and it has set him on fire round about. Yet he knew not, and it burned him. Yet he laid it not to heart. Many of our people are still not laying it to heart. They're still not asking themselves, why are we still going through these atrocities against us? Why are we still have such a hard life? Why is the wealth gap between white people and so-called black people so significantly huge? The wealth difference is like what, 17,000 for us and 171,000 for white people? The Gentiles are clearly on top, and we have clearly been brought to the bottom. Alright? We continue to be led into captivity, into harsh bondage. We encountered the curses foretold in the scriptures. This was a continuous thing for Israel to go in and out of captivity. Well, this was the last captivity and the longest one. We're still in it. We still have not been gathered yet. We've just been awakened. Alright? Let's go over to Genesis 15:12 through 14. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, an horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, Know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance. So we are going to see the nation that took us into captivity here in the Americas. We are about to see them get judged. Okay? And we will come out of this captivity with great substance. Daniel 9:11. Yeah, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured out upon us, and the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of our power, because we have sinned against him. Jeremiah 11:14 through 23. Let me get some water first. Therefore, pray not thou for this people, neither lift up a cry or prayer for them. For I will not hear them in the time that they cry unto me for their trouble. What hath my beloved to do in mine house, seeing she has wrought lewdness with many, and the holy flesh is passed from thee? When thou doest evil, then thou rejoicest. The Most High called thy name, a green olive tree, fair and of goodly fruit. With the noise of a great tumult, he hath kindled a fire upon it, and the branches of it are broken. For the Most High of hosts, that planted thee, hath pronounced evil against thee, for the evil of the house of Israel, and of the house of Judah, which they have done against themselves to provoke me to anger, in offering incense unto Baal, in sacrificing his creation, and burning incense to try to cover up the smell of death. And the Most High hath given me knowledge of it, and I know it. Then thou showest me their doings. But I was like a lamb or an ox that is brought to the slaughter. And I knew not that they had devised devices against me, saying, Let us destroy the tree with the fruit thereof, and let us cut him off from the land of the living, that his name may be no more remembered. They were saying this about Jeremiah the prophet. But, O power of hosts, that judges righteously, that tries the reins and the heart, let me see thy vengeance on them, for unto thee have I revealed my cause. Therefore thus says the Most High of the men of Anathoth, that seek thy life, saying, Prophesy not in the name of the Most High, that thou die not by our hand. Therefore thus says the Most High of hosts, Behold, I will punish them. The young men shall die by the sword, their sons and their daughters shall die by famine, and there shall be no remnant of them. For I will bring evil upon the men of Anathoth, even the year of their visitation. All right. Now, quick history lesson. When a Messiah was on the earth, he told of a prophecy that was going to happen to Jerusalem. He literally told them that when you see Jerusalem surrounded with armies, know that destruction is coming. He commanded them to flee into the mountains, to hide. We can read it, Luke 21:20 through 21. And when ye see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto. You want to know why he warned us? Because he loves us. He still loved us, even though we rejected him, even though Judah rejected him primarily and had him murdered. He still loved us so much that he said, when desolation come, when you see Jerusalem compassed with the armies, know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Flee, get out of there, run for your life, because this is about to be great tribulation coming upon you. He loved us so much to let us know you don't want to be caught. You do not want to be captured by these wicked Gentiles. Alright? This was fulfilled in 70 AD when the Roman army led by Titus put an end to Jerusalem with a great slaughter. Over 1 million of us, 1 million of us fled into the mountains as commanded by the Hamashiach. And yeah, Esau played his part, because he was cutting us off as we were trying to run out of there, Esau was there capturing us and selling us to the Gentiles. They were capturing us and handing us over to the Gentiles. Esau and the Gentiles are not one and the same. Esau was constantly helping our enemies because they were our enemies as well. Esau did not like us. Esau hated us. And our own brother sold us out to the Gentiles, gave us over to this brutal nation of Gentiles. All right? They play semantics saying Africans sold Africans, when really we're not even Africans. But I'm not going to get off into that. I'm not going to get off into that because that's a whole nother subject. But they knew damn well there are many different dark-skinned nations. Hamites did not sell other Hamites. Okay? Arabs did not sell other Arabs. Edomites didn't sell other Edomites. Esau wasn't selling Esau. They were selling the children of Israel, who are also a dark-skinned people. They did not sell their own people. They sold another dark-skinned group of people, the Hebrews. Hamites and Arabs conspired together, and they sold the Hebrew Israelites to the Europeans. Both Hamites and the Arabs knew who we were. They knew we were different from them. We were the ones who forget who we were, just as it was prophesied that it would happen. This information is no longer hidden. Many of our people are just way too comfortable living a lie to even care. Alright? So let's go to 1 Maccabees 3:41. And the merchant of the country, hearing the fame of them, took silver and much gold, very much, with servants, and came into the camp to buy the children of Israel for slaves. A power also of Syria and of the land of the Philistines joined themselves unto them. Slavery, aka the American Atlantic slave trade. The so-called Negroes, African Americans, black men and black women are the true Hebrews of the Bible in America, who are destroyed mentally because they don't know who they are as a people, as a nation. They are the chosen people of the Most High Power, not the fake Jews over there in that created state of Israel, aka the synagogue of Satan. And I'm going to get a precept to this. Hold on a second. Alright, and I wanted to get this part again because I ain't trying to take stabs at those that are saying that Esau is the white man, but you know, when something hit my spirit to elaborate on something, I'm just going to do it. I'm not intentionally firing shots at those that think Esau is the white man, alright? But here, I just wanted to get a precept to what I just read in Maccabees, and let me get that Maccabees again to remind you. People got short attention spans, man, so I want to make sure that people can comprehend. Alright? 1 Maccabees 3:41. And the merchants of the country, hearing the fame of them, took silver and gold very much with servants, and came into the camp to buy the children of Israel for slaves. A power also of Syria and of the land of the Philistines joined themselves unto them. Okay? So, in the day of our calamity, like in the day of our destruction, when they came and destroyed us, Esau was always he was always helping out our enemies, okay? But in this particular verse right here, this is Obadiah chapter 1. It's the only chapter of Obadiah, verse 13, okay? And this is a judgment against Esau. Okay, but I'm going to go up. Let me go up a little bit. Because I want to get the context, okay? Let's get the context. Alright, so this hopefully will be the last thing that I say about Esau, but I'm going to get all the context here, okay? Alright, so this is Esau right here. This is a judgment pronounced against Esau for his part in what he did in helping to sell us to the Gentiles, okay? And Ham has it, they all have their judgment. And it's all throughout the scripture, okay? So Obadiah chapter 1, I'm just going to start at verse 1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus says the Most High Power concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Most High. An ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Now, let me break this verse down here a little for those that is a little slow and can't seem to comprehend that there are two nations here that are being talked about, alright? So, thus says the Most High Power concerning Edom. Okay, that's a nation, Edom. Esau, whom my people want to hate and say that it's the white people. We have heard a rumor from the Most High. Okay? An ambassador is sent among the heathen. Now that is another group of people. Esau and the heathen are not one and the same. And it is proof of that as we continue to read in the very same sentence. Alright? An ambassador is sent among the heathen. There's a comma there. Arise ye. There's a comma again. So this ambassador is talking to the heathen and is telling the heathen to arise and rise up against her. Now underline that her. Her. Who is her? Edom. Okay? Edom is the her concerning Edom. Okay? Rise up against Edom in battle. Okay? Verse 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Who has he made small among the heathen? Esau. Edom. He made Edom small among the heathen. Okay? Thou art greatly despised. Are the Europeans despised? No, they're not. But the Arabs are. It's just common sense. The Arabs are despised among the heathen. Okay? And they're small among the heathen. They don't respect them. The Europeans do not respect the Arabs. And you know it. Alright? Verse 3. The pride of thine heart have deceived thee. Esau is very proud. Thou that dwelleth in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, this will I bring thee down, says the Most High. If thieves come to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave thee some grapes? How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy. What confederacy? The confederacy of Psalms 83, where Esau and a whole bunch of nations conspire together to hide who the true chosen people of the Most High is. Okay, so all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. So the heathen, the Europeans, the Gentiles have deceived Esau too. They deceived the Arabs, and they have prevailed against them. Alright, they did eat thy bread, have laid wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Okay? Shall I not in that day, says the Most High Power, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and the understanding out of the mount of Esau? And thy mighty men, O T-man, shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob. Shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was as one of them. As Esau stood on the other side and cut us off, as we tried to flee away into the mountains, Esau was there. Edomites was there to capture us and hand us over to the brutal Gentiles who raped us, who did all kinds of atrocities to us, and we gonna get into it. We really gonna get into it, all right? But thou should have not looked on the day of thy brother, in the day that he became a stranger. Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither should thou have spoken proudly in a day of distress. Yeah, because Esau was there, plundering all of our wealth. Thou should have not entered into the gate of my people in a day of their calamity. Yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. Neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape. Neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress. For the day of the Most High is near upon all the heathen, as thou hast done. It shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. For as ye drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness in the house of Jacob shall possess, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And they shall kindle in them, and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Most High has spoken it. Like, I got the gist of what I wanted. And the house of Jacob shall be for fire, and the house of Joseph for flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Most High have spoken it. Esau has great judgment coming against them for cutting us off and handing us over to the Gentiles. Alright, so let's get back to it. Okay. They did that when Jerusalem was compassed with the armies. So that's a precept. That Obadiah is a precept to Luke 21:20 through 21, and then also First Maccabees 3:41. Let's go ahead and get the context here. Let's get the context. Let's do Maccabees 3:41 through 54. Okay. And the merchants of the country, hearing the fame of them, took silver and much gold, very much, with servants, and came into the camp to buy the children of Israel for slaves. A power also of Syria and of the land of the Philistines joined themselves unto them. Now when Judas and his brethren saw that the miseries were multiplied, and that the forces did encamp themselves in their borders, for they knew how the king had given commandment to destroy the people and utterly abolish them. And hold on right quick, because I gotta get something. I want to bring something out. Let's see, I think I got it bookmarked. Let's try to find it. I got it bookmarked somewhere. Let me find it. And I think I got it under research. Let's see, research. Give me just a second. So I know dang well I freaking bookmarked that. Okay, because this was a dumb diverses papal bull. Okay, so give me just a second. I know dang well that I had bookmarked it, but for some reason I can't find the bookmark. Let's see. Maybe it was this one. I did bookmark it. I just don't know where the bookmark. Let me see where it's at. Edit bookmark. Oh, okay. I bookmarked it in prophecy. Never mind. That's why, because it wasn't under research, it was under prophecy. Okay, so this is Dumb Diverses. Okay, Papal Bull, Dumb Diverses, 18 June 1452. Okay, Pope Nicholas V issued the Papal Bull, Dumb Diverses, on 18 June 1452. It authorized Afonso V of Portugal to reduce any so-called Muslims, Saracens, Muslims, and quote-unquote pagans, and other unbelievers to perpetual slavery, okay? Now, this was the Israelites that they did this to, okay? I'm just going to put it out there that now the Israelites, some of them were Muslims, you know, and some of them, they were considered pagans because they worshiped the Most High Almighty. They had one power. They worshiped the Great Spirit, the I Am, the Great I Am, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. At least they thought they did, even though they were sacrificing the animals, and it displeased them. This is the whole reason they went into captivity. But anyway, to make a long story short, it was the Israelites. They were classified as all kinds of different things. Okay, so just because it says Muslims, it doesn't mean Edomites. It doesn't mean Arabs. This was our people. The Papal Bull, Dumb Diverses, done on 18th of June 1452, was to round up the Israelites, was to put us into captivity. Okay. Alright, so it's 1452, and they said, and pagans and any other unbelievers to perpetual slavery. This facilitated the Portuguese slave trade from West Africa. They say from West Africa. Alright, the same Pope wrote the bull Romania's Pontificate on January 5th of 1455 to the same Afonso as a follow-up to the Dumb Diverses. It extended to the Catholic nations of Europe dominion over discovered lands during the Age of Discovery, along with sanctifying the seizure of non-Christian lands. It encouraged the enslavement of native non-Christian peoples, they say, in Africa and the New World. See, we were all over the place. But the point is, there were a lot of us here in the Americas, and they just said it. They called it the New World, but it was really the Old World. Okay, everything that these people say is a dang lie. Although they have documented these things like this Dumb Diverses, which we're about to get into, okay? So, Along with sanctifying the seizure of non-Christian lands, it encouraged the enslavement of native, non-Christian peoples in Africa and the New World. They were coming after the Israelites, okay? Now this is a quote. We weighing all in singular the premises with due meditation, and noting that since we have formerly by other letters of our granted, among other things, free and ample faculty to the aforesaid King Afonso to invade, search out, capture, vanquish, subdue all Saracens and pagans whatsoever, and other enemies of Christ wheresoever placed, and the kingdoms, dukedoms, principalities, dominions, possessions, and all movable and immovable goods whatsoever held and possessed by them, and to reduce their persons to perpetual slavery, and to apply and appropriate to himself and his successors the kingdoms and dukedoms, counties, principalities, dominions, possessions, and goods, and convert them to his and their use and profit, by having secured said faculty, said King Afonso, or by his authority the aforesaid infante justly and lawfully had acquired and possessed, and doth possess these islands, lands, harbors, and seas, and they do of right belong and pertain to the said King Afonso and his successors. Okay? So this papal bull went out and gave this wicked ass nation the authority to come and just rape, pillage, murder, slaughter, massacre, and steal and plunder whatever the hell they wanted. Okay, in 1493, Alexander VI issued the bull Inter Caetera, stating one Christian nation did not have the right to establish dominion over lands previously dominated by another Christian nation, thus establishing the law of nations. Together, dum diverses, the Roman Pontificate and the Inter Caetera came to serve as the basis and justification for the doctrine of discovery, the global slave trade of the 15th and 16th century, and the age of imperialism. Okay, so the rise of the Gentiles and the fall of the Israelites. Okay, this happened in the 15th and 16th century. So we are in the 21st century now, right? So just wrap your head around that. How long the Israelites been in this captivity, okay? Had everything stolen from us and have not been paid a damn dime. Not one penny have we been paid back of what is owed to us, okay? So I just wanted to take a little pause break and get that, because it's important that people understand, okay? So I'm continuing here. Let me go back and reread verse 42. And now when Judas and his brethren saw that the miseries were multiplied, that the forces did encamp themselves in their borders, for they knew how the king had given commandment to destroy the people and utterly abolish them, they said one to another, let us restore the decayed fortune of our people, and let us fight for our people and the sanctuary. Then was the congregation gathered together, that they might be ready for battle, and that they might pray and ask mercy and compassion. Okay? Now, hold on. Let me take a little pause break, because I seen something earlier that I want to plug in here. So give me just a second. Alright? Proverbs 1:26 through 28. Alright. I will also laugh at your calamity. I will mock when you fear cometh. when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For they hated knowledge, and they did not choose the fear of the Most High. They would none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof. Therefore they shall eat of the fruit of their own way, and be filled with their own devices. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. The prosperity of fools shall destroy them. The Gentiles are fools. They chase after the riches of this world because they think that this is all there is. They ain't thinking about eternally. They're only thinking about here and now. Alright? So for turning away the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. He used the Europeans as a tool. They are a tool. They were a tool used to destroy us because we did not hearken to the voice of the Most High Almighty, to walk in His ways. All right? But whoso hearkeneth unto me, this is verse 33 of this Proverbs. I'm going to go ahead and throw this kicker in too, because this is another confirmation. But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear of evil. I ain't got no fear of any of what's going on in the world today. I ain't afraid. Ask yourself, how come I ain't afraid? All right? So give me just a second. I'm going to hop back over here. All right. And I'm going to read that verse 44 again. Then was the congregation gathered together, that they might be ready for battle, and that they might pray and ask mercy and compassion. Now Jerusalem lay void as a wilderness. There was none of her children that went in or out. The sanctuary also was trodden down, and aliens kept the stronghold. The heathen had their habitation in that place, and joy was taken from Jacob, and the pipe with the harp ceased. Wherefore the Israelites assembled themselves together, and came to Mashpah over against Jerusalem. For Mashpah was the place where they prayed aforetime in Israel. Then they fasted that day, and put on sackcloth. They cast ashes upon their head, and rent their clothes, and laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likenesses of their images. They brought also the priest garment, and the first fruits, and the tithes, and the Nazarites they stirred up, who had accomplished their day. Then cried they with a loud voice toward heaven, saying, What shall we do? What shall we do with these, and whither shall we carry them away? For thy sanctuary is trodden down and profaned, and thy priests are in heaviness and brought low. And lo, the heathen are assembled together against us to destroy us. What things they imagine against us thou knowest. How shall we be able to stand against them, except thou, O power, be our help? Then sounded they with trumpets, and cried with a loud voice. The destruction of Israel for their rebellion against the Most High. He did not lift a finger to help us. He allowed these atrocities to overtake us. Okay? Deuteronomy 28 verse 48. Therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies, which the Most High shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, until he have destroyed thee. Right? So you should see some pictures up there, with yokes of iron upon our necks. Okay. Micah 2:3. Therefore, this is what the Most High says. I am planning against this nation disaster from which you cannot free your necks. Then you will not walk so proudly, for it will be a time of calamity. He had to bring us low, because we were a prideful ass people, very stiff-necked and prideful. He had to break us. Alright? Deuteronomy 28:68. And Yahuwah shall bring thee into Egypt, Mizraim, again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man, no one shall buy you. And that means no one shall redeem you. That's why we ain't been redeemed up out of this captivity. We built Black Wall Street. There's so many instances just like Black Wall Street, and they all got destroyed. They all got knocked down. Why? Because the Most High proclaimed that ain't nobody gonna save us up out of this captivity. We are gonna continuously be a downtrodden people and a hated people. A people scorned and mocked and ridiculed and hated and slandered and all of these things until He delivers us. Alright? The transatlantic slave trade is in the Holy Scriptures, is in the so-called Holy Bible. It was foretold and written that our ancestors of, the so-called Negroes would be in captivity, scattered to all nations upon the face of the earth. Just look around in your day-to-day life and see how many so-called Negroes are most definitely scattered amongst all the nations. Alright, so we're going to just seal this deal. Let's seal it up. Let's seal it. Who are the children of the Most High? Let's go through some more curses. History within the Bible that still applies today pertaining to the Hebrew Israelites, aka the so-called Negroes, African Americans, black men, black women. Why do we got all these different titles? Aren't those Proverbs? Aren't those bywords? Why are we called everything under the sun except for who we are? Israel. Leviticus 26:37-39. And they shall fall upon one another, as it were before a sword, when none pursueth, and ye shall have no power to stand before your enemies, and ye shall perish among the heathen, and the land of your enemies shall eat you up. And they that are left of you shall pine away in their iniquity, in their enemies, in your enemies' land, and also in the iniquities of their fathers shall they pine away with them. Alright? And then again, Luke 21:24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Okay? Well, the time of the Gentiles is almost over, bruh. The time of the Gentiles is almost over, bruh. Alright? When people really realize, when they really wake up to the truth that the so-called Negroes, African Americans, black men and women are the true people of the Bible, they're going to be astonished. They're going to be shocked. And that brings me to the scripture in Wisdom of Solomon. So give me just a moment to pull that up. Alright, let's go ahead and get this right quick and plug this in. Let's go ahead and go to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5, okay? And I'm going to start in verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labors. Have they made any account of our labors and how we built America? Have they made any account of how we came up with all these inventions, and yet they took credit for it and have patented it under their names and they're getting paid? Have we been paid anything for our labors? Have they even commended us for the great job that we did on building America? No, there's been no account made of our labors. None whatsoever. Okay? Verse 2. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all they looked for. And they, repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit, shall say within themselves, This was he whom we sometimes had in derision, a proverb of reproach? We fools accounted his life madness, and his end to be without honor. How is he numbered among the children of the Most High, and his lot is among the saints? Therefore we have erred from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness has not shined on us, and the sun of righteousness rose not upon us. This is the Gentile speaking. We wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Yeah, we have gone through deserts where there lay no way. But as for the way of the Most High, we have not known it. Why is my family listening to the Gentiles when they are going to declare that they don't know the way of the Most High? They have led the whole world astray. Christianity is replacement theology. They have deceived you. Black people, in your Christian religion, it was forced upon you. Okay? This is the heathen. This is the heathen speaking. We wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Yeah, we have gone through deserts where there lay no way. But as for the way of the Most High, we have not known it. What have pride profited us? They're going to be asking that. What have our pride profited us? What good has the riches with our vaulting brought us? They're going to ask you Gentiles, you Europeans. You're going to ask yourself in the day of your calamity. You're going to ask yourself in the day of your destruction. When that sky crack open and you see the Son of Man, when you see Hamashiach coming and he's a full-blown black man with a freaking afro or some dreadlocks, some freaking locks. Oh, yes, this is what you're going to be saying. So you best humble down right now. You best try to repent. You best try to purge your heart of the hatred that you have against the so-called Negro, because we are the true chosen people of the Most High. And it cannot be refuted, okay? You are going to say this. What hath our pride profited us? Or what good hath riches with our vaunting brought us? All those things are passed away like a shadow, and as a post that hasteth by, and as a ship that passes over the waves of the water, which when it is gone by, the trace thereof cannot be found, neither the pathway of the Nile in the waves. Okay? Y'all gonna be tripping. Y'all really gonna be tripping. Okay? I'm not going to continue to read that. I just wanted to show you that who you think it has the words of the Most High, you've been deceived. He showeth his word unto Jacob. The other nations he has not known them. Okay? So now, let me see where we at on time. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end it here because I ain't got time to go into the next thing. So I'm going to pick it up again at another time, and then we'll just continue. We'll keep trucking, all right? So just rock with me. Shalom.